We want to simplify root 3 plus I to the power 6. So the first thing we want is the root 3 plus I in polar form. So root 3 plus I would be here, and this is root 3 and this is 1, and so the modulus would be 2, and the argument is the inverse tangent of 1 over root 3. That's a standard angle, so we know that that's pi by 6. So what we have is 2 cis pi by 6 to the power 6. So that's going to be 2 to the power 6 cis 6 multiplied by pi by 6. 2 to the power 6 is 64, and then we have cis pi. Well, cis pi is here. It's just negative 1, so this is negative 64. Now in part B, 2 minus 2i. So 2 minus 2i is here. So if this is 2 and this is 2, this is going to be the square root of 4 plus 4, so that's root 8, so that's 2 root 2. And then clearly this is an isosceles right-angled triangle, so the angle here is pi by 4, so that's going to be 2 root 2 cis negative pi by 4. Think about the angle going around this way. Then we have the negative 1 plus I root 3. So that's going to be negative 1 and I root 3. So that's up here. So this is 1, this is root 3. That would make this 60 degrees or pi by 3 radians, and therefore that's 2 pi by 3 for the argument. And here, just like this one with the 1 and the root 3, the modulus would be 2. So this is 2 cis 2 pi by 3. So what we have is 2 root 2 cis negative pi by 4 to the power 5 divided by 2 cis 2 pi by 3 to the power 4. So let's think about 2 root 2 to the 5. That's going to be 2 to the 5 multiplied by root 2 squared times root 2 squared times root 2. So that's 32 times 2 times 2 times root 2. So that's going to be 128 root 2 cis negative 5 pi by 4. Don't worry about the fact that this isn't a principal argument to start with. On the bottom here, we've got 2 to the 4, which is 16, cis 8 pi by 3, multiplying the angle by 4. So 16 times 8 is 128, so that becomes 8 root 2, and then because we're dividing, that's negative 5 pi by 4, take away 8 pi by 3, so we subtract the arguments. So 8 root 2 cis Now this needs to be over 12. So that's negative 15 pi. And then this one would need to be multiplied by 4. Take away 32 pi by 12. So that's 8 root 2 cis negative 47 pi by 12. And now what we want to do is make this into a principal argument. So, lots of ways we could do this. So, this is negative 12 pi by 12, so negative pi, negative 24 pi by 12, negative 36 pi by 12, and then to get to the angle we want, we'd go another negative 11 pi by 12, which leaves us with this one as just being pi by 12. So pi by 12 would be our principal argument. Another way that you might do that is to think to yourself, well, 48 divided by 12 is 4. So if we did 4 pi, take away the 47 pi by 12, that would also give us pi by 12. So that's another way of getting at the argument. And I guess there's lots of different ways of thinking about it. You just have to come up with a way of thinking about it that enables you to get an angle in the right range. And remember that that range is from negative pi to pi. Now the last part of this example has a really important point. It often comes up in tests and exams. Notice how we've got a minus in the middle here and here. So these are not in cis form. Cis form is where we have a plus in the middle. Now what we do is we make use of the fact that cos is an even function and sine is an odd function, just as the video about the proof did. So what I'm going to do is rewrite as cos negative pi by 4 plus I sine negative pi by 4. So that's this one rewritten, and that's going to be to the power 4. And now that is in cis form. Then we have 2 cos pi by 3 plus I sine pi by 3. We don't have a problem with that one. It's got a plus in the middle already. And that one's going to be cubed. And then on the bottom we need to use the same trick that we did here. So that's going to be 4 cos negative 3 pi by 4 plus I sine negative 3 pi by 4. And that one's going to be squared. Now, this one could be written as cis negative pi by 4, and that's to the power 4. Then this one, 2 cubed is 8, and then we have cis pi by 3, and that bit needs to be cubed. And then on the bottom we've got 4 squared, which is of course 16, and cis negative 3 pi by 4, which is squared. So multiplying the angle by the power here gives us cis negative pi. We've got the 8, and then this is pi by 3, multiply that by 3, so that's going to be cis pi. And on the bottom we've got 16 cis negative 3 pi by 2 when we multiply this by 2. So on the top we'd add the arguments, so that's going to be 8 cis 0 over 16 cis negative 3 pi by 2. So we've got the 8 divided by 16, that's a half, and we'd subtract the arguments here, so that would give me 3 pi by 2, and of course that's not a principal argument. 3 pi by 2 is here, so negative pi by 2 would be the principal argument, so that's going to be a half cis negative pi by 2. Now since that's here, that's going to just be negative a half I.